Hello everyone and welcome back to another scrap mechanic video. In this one I'm going to show you how to build the Star Trek door, which is just over there. If you've seen the Star Wars door, that one opens up and then falls back down again. This one splits down the middle and goes off to either side, which is really cool. But I do want to mention, whenever you load a world, it seems like all of the contraptions sort of reset. I just logged in, there's a load of noise, and once again, that one over there has actually broken. So that's something to consider really when making your little contraptions, that they'll sort of reset themselves when you load up the world. And also in that stream we made a very useless contraption. It's a pulse generator. And it is pretty useless, right? And you could probably make it a lot smaller than what we've done right there. Anyway, let's go and check out what we're here in this video for. It is the Star Trek door. We walk up to it, it opens side to side, and it leads us through into a new room. Now at the moment the game is just being a little bit laggy. I think it's settling down from where I've loaded it up, so usually that would be a little bit faster. I am actually feeling some frames at the moment. And on this side is a new room that I'm working on. This is going to be another part of the base, but let's focus on the door. We've got two sensors down here. We can actually have more of them if you wanted this thing to be more sensitive, so the more of them that you have leading out, the further away it's going to detect you approaching. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It goes out to either side, and then you can walk through the middle of it. So, as always with these contraptions, you need to give yourself a fair amount of space in which to build this. And you can see we put down a platform. It's important to build it all on the same platform so it's all part of the same structure. And we're going to start off by replicating what I've done on this side over here. So to give you a quick demonstration of the door in action, you can see when we stand in front of the center it opens, and then when we move away it closes. Now that is not the complete contraption. We're actually going to have something else to control this controller, but I built this over here on this side, so when we build it on the other side it will be a little bit easier just to follow what we're doing. So we're going to start off by going up by 3 blocks. We're going to put a bearing on the side of this one, and then we're going to go down by 3 blocks, and then we're going to put another bearing here, go up by 3 blocks, another bearing, and this is where you put the door going over to this point right here. 1 block over that little bit in the middle, so you can see there's a gap of 4 blocks for it to extend across by. So on the side here is where we'll put our controller, and then we're going to hook that up to all of the bearings. And the next bit is pretty simple. You want to rotate the first bearing. Oh, sorry, do you want to rotate the first bearing? No, you want to just rotate the second one like that. So this one goes to the left, that one goes to the right, that one goes to the left as well. Then we're going to open up this. We're going to set the default positions to 90, 180 and 90. And it's important that you have them in this order as well. 1, 2, 3 like that. So there you go, you can see it's in the closed state. So in order to open the door, we need to go back to the position we were in a moment ago, which is why these are on the negative. So 90, 180 and 90. If we attach a sensor, then this thing can be used temporarily as an example. There we go, let's hook those up. And now when we walk in front of the 2 sensors, the door opens. That is very cool, I like it. So the next step for the door is to build it up a little bit. As you can see, I built these frames on either side. We've also got a platform to walk up to the door on either side as well. And one of the things that you might want to do is build across a little roof for it as well. Now we want to expand the size of the door, and one thing I want to point out as always is to make sure you're building onto the door so these blocks that we add become a part of that moving door. And likewise with all of these extra bits that I've added, none of them were attached to the moving parts. There we go. So the problem here is that we can't walk through the door because there's no sensor on this side. There's only a sensor on this side over here, and we can barely get through when we do that as well. So what we're going to do to solve that problem is have 3 sensors on either side, and this way when we approach the door it's going to detect us from further away, and it's going to keep creating like a signal, if you want to call it that, as we approach the door. So we need to hook up 3 from this side to a little contraption over here and 3 from the other side as well. They are all going to activate this one sensor, which will then control our controllers on either side. So we're going to add some bearings to each of these. These are going to be all of our inputs, and instead of having some blocks here to drop down in front of the sensor, those blocks will be controlled, or sorry, the bearings, by a controller. We'll just put the controller directly onto the bearing like so, and at the moment you can see that they're all activating it, which is not what we want to do. So attach those 6 controllers, and then we need to configure each of these. Alright, so I've set up all but one of these, and an important thing to point out is that the controller is attached to the bearing that it's next to, like this, and also that the red is on the outside here and on that side as well. So when we set up this last one, we want the default position for it to be up by 30, and then it's going to go down by 30. Now you can make this a little bit more optimal if you mess around with holding down shift to fine tune these, but we're not going to get into that this video. We're going to set it like that. So now this sensor shouldn't be active. It's kind of hard to see actually, but I'm pretty sure that that's turned off, and that means that we can hook this thing up to our controllers on either side. These are the ones that control the door, and then what we can do is take all of our sensors and wire them up to the 6 of these. So you can see that I've attached an additional 3 sensors on this side over here. You could, make them flush with the wall, something like that, if you wanted to hide them a little bit. And I am having trouble connecting these, aren't I? I think I keep attaching them to the bearing. What's happened there? Why is that activating itself over and over again? I think it's detecting, right, it's detecting this over here, the moving parts. So that means if we attach that, it's going to stop. Good. We actually probably need the same thing on the other side, because when I'm walking around here, we're activating that as well. Okay, so a little bit of live problem solving there. And what are we going to do? Attach that one to that. Yep, and the rest of this is very simple. So now this contraption, I think, is finished and ready to go. So let's walk up to the door. It opens when we walk in front of the sensors, and it will stay open as we leave on this side as well. Very cool stuff. Look at that. Awesome. And that's how you build the Star Trek door. I'm not in front of the sensor. Maybe you want to do this with 4. If you do want to do it with more sensors on either side so it opens from further away, just need to add more of these, don't you? So that is the Star Trek door. As always, thank you so much for the support on these videos. If you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like. And if you're looking for more Scrap Mechanic, there are links on your screen and in the description box, so go check those out if you haven't seen them already. Anyway, that is it from me this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.